everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Bucker Designs. I've got a really simple card for you today. It uses some of the Celebration Designer Series paper called Daffodil Afternoon. This sheet, in my opinion, is designed for exactly this, making simple cards. As you can see, this paper is gorgeous. Lots of really great patterns. I have several other videos using this paper. If you're looking for more ideas, make sure you check out my YouTube channel and my blog. Here is this piece, as you can see, 12 by 12. You can cut it. If you're going to use it as a card front, you could get 6 card fronts out of this paper. So with one pack of this paper, which is actually free, you could get 12 cards. So that's pretty amazing. And we're actually going to cut it down even smaller so you could probably get even more cards out of just one sheet. I want to show you another card before we do my card. A friend named Lori sent this to me, and I want you to look at it. It's just beautiful. There is no stamping other than the sentiment. This is all that paper. She added Wink of Stella to those flowers, added some butterflies and some ribbon, and that's it. So you know, sometimes we have to mass produce cards, make a bunch of cards for, you know, an occasion or whatever. If you have a bunch of thank you cards, this would be really good. You can crank them out real fast, and they have really big wow value. I actually gasped when I opened this card and saw it because it's just so beautiful. So anyway, thank you, Lori. I love the card. It's beautiful. All right, well, let's go ahead and do this card. We're going to make kind of like a little window pane with a Designer Series paper. And we're going to cut the squares into 1.5, they're 1.5 inch squares is what I'm trying to say. So one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure I got a little bit of the vanilla up here, you know, where there's nothing. So I think I'm going to start, I'm using my trimmer. If they're 1.5 by 1.5, I'm going to start with, let's see, I think I'll go over a little bit this way. I'm just thinking of that first square. Once we get that first square, I think we'll be good. All right, so then let's come down here. I want there to be some white space because we are going to add a stamped butterfly. All right, so now let's see what that looks like. If we did 1.5 inches is right here, that would be, let's see, that much of that square. What do you guys think? You think that's good? Let's cut that and we'll see. So 1.5 by 1.5, and then we'll turn it this way. And yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so there's the first one. Now, I'm actually not going to use this piece. I'm going to come over here and cut off some more. I'm going to do, let's see, we've got to make it, let's do it this way, 3 inches. Now, it doesn't really matter, you know, how you cut these. The idea is just to kind of get that pattern going within your piece. All right, and then I want to get one down here kind of with some of this. So let's do that. 1.5, 1.5. And then let's see how these 4 look together. I think that's pretty good. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly in order. I mean, I guess we would have to do like that and like that if we wanted to keep it in order. But I don't want to do that. I want to do this. So that's what we're going to do right there, okay? So now I have cut out 4 Old Olive squares. My original sample, I actually used Mossy Meadow, but for this card, I cut out Old Olive. Both will work. All right, grab your adhesive, which is right here. And these squares are just 1/8 of an inch bigger. So 1 5/8 by 1 5/8. All right, let's stick those down. Just a very small little frame for each piece. And I'm just using Stampin' Seal. We'll use dimensionals to put them on here in a second. Now, the neutral color in this DSP is not white, it's vanilla. So we're going to need to use some vanilla paper. Let's see, I'm going to turn that and see how I like it. I think I like it like that. Okay. We're going to use very vanilla cardstock. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment Easter Blessings. But I'm going to do that first just because I want to make sure I get it straight. If we don't get it straight, we can flip it over and try again. Sometimes after you've got the card together and you stamp it and it's not straight, then you're like, oh, you have to start all over. That looks pretty good. I think I did pretty good. All right, now I'm going to take these dimensionals. I'm going to do one for each one. And in order to get this straight, you can use a ruler. Honestly, I just kind of eyeball it. Sometimes to make sure they're lined up, I'll get a ruler and just make sure the edges are lined up. But I think I'm just going to go for it. We'll see how it turns out. Looks like to me they're a little bit too far over. So let's take that and move that a little bit. The dimensionals are great adhesive, but they do allow you a little bit of wiggle room. You know, if you were to use like Stampin' Seal Plus or tear and tape, you may not have that wiggle room. Okay, I think that one needs to come over just a little bit. There we go. All right, what do you guys think? Good? All right, good. Let's put that on an old olive card base. Did I use dimensionals? I can't remember. Nope, we did it flat. I have to, sometimes I make these projects well in advance before I film the video, so sometimes I forget. All right, now we're going to take our Wink of Stella. I loved how Lori added that to hers, so we're going to add Wink of Stella to the middle of each flower. Wink of Stella is just like a liquid glitter, and it's a great way to add a little sparkle to your project without making a mess. All right, now we're going to add one more thing. We're going to stamp this butterfly. We're going to do it twice in Memento, again on Very Vanilla. And we're going to color it with Stampin' Blends. I'm going to use So Saffron and Pale Papaya. I am going to hit it with a heat tool just to set that ink. The Daffodil and the Saffron Stampin' Blends, sometimes we'll pick up that ink and smear it around if it's not set long enough. So I'm going to make sure that we get those set. There we go. All right, let's start with our light So Saffron. I'm going to do all of the wings. And then I'm going to go back with the dark and do that little middle part. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing with Pale Papaya. Pale Papaya is an in color. Our in colors only stay around for 2 years. This is the first year, so it will be in the next catalog that comes out in May. I'm glad. I love Pale Papaya. Okay. Now, there are dies that go with this stamp set. As you can see, there is quite a bit that goes with this bundle. The dies that make the flowers they look quite complex, but I have actually created a video and a cheat sheet for you to help you to use those dies. They're fantastic. But all we're going to use is this little butterfly die right here because we're keeping it simple. And I've got my mini cut and emboss machine. And I'm going to run this through just 2 times. Okay. We don't have a magnetic platform for our cut and emboss machines right now, but word on the street is that we will hopefully be getting them soon. That will be great for projects like this. For now, if you are worried about your dies slipping, you can use something called Post-it tape. If you watch my Facebook Fridays, you know I am obsessed with Post-it tape. It's the stickiness of a Post-it note, but it's tape. So it's really great repositional adhesive. Okay, now I'm going to take this and just kind of fold the wings like that. And I'm going to pick up a dimensional and I'll put one of those butterflies there and one of them right here on the tip of that little leaf. And there you have it, a pretty simple card. You could tell the difference, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive. Depending on which color you like best, go for it. All right, that's it. You guys, there's a free PDF with measurements and supply list and 2 other Daffodil Afternoon and Daffodil Daydream projects over there on my blog. So make sure you hop back over there, click the link here on YouTube down at the bottom, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.